that's a great point to bring up. So tomorrow, I believe those are the rounds that are scheduled to be taking place tomorrow, as you said. The round of 256 and the round of 128. So it's cutting down. It cuts down quickly when you think about it. I mean, already tomorrow we're going to be down to, well, the top 64 teams, at least in the winner's bracket. And again, remember, very important, it is a double elimination tournament on top of that. So there will be a winners and losers bracket going on. Obviously, we're going to look to cover the winners bracket for the most part all the way until it eventually gets down to, well, of course, the final couple of teams. But it looks like, okay, you are actually joining a game, so it looks like they did get it rehosted and whatnot. And we may be good to go here in the future. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and join myself. So it looks like loading in. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, game number 2. It is upon us. Truff, again, are you ready?
I'm ready this time now.
All
yep.
Right. I'm ready again as well. So let's go ahead. Let's jump into game number 2.
All right, of course, now the sides have switched. We got Perfections on the Legion side and QsQ on the Hellborn side. Blind bans have come out, and what do you know? Wild Soul double banned on each side. So a total of 3 bans is only taking place. Wild Soul Fade on Legion, Keeper of the Forest, and, well, Wild Soul on Hellborn side. First lock, it's Blitz. We might, here comes the troll locks because we got Blitz. Responding is Nomad, and I shouldn't really call Tremble a troll lock because we do see it picked up from time to time. But, yeah, Nomad and Blitz. Can't say I see that every day.
Now, Blitz did get a buff lately, as did Nomad. You actually brought up the point. Remember with Nomad, especially with the Sandstorm, his slow that he does to enemies, I believe he got buffed, and as well as a movement speed for his teammates. So that actually, that makes him more of a team hero in that sense. Scout Artillery, the next couple of locks here. We have an interesting game in the making, apparently, with game number 2 between Perfections and Q Squad. So,
Artillery.
Yeah, fun things are happening here. We're gonna have some fun lineups, apparently. That's kind of cool.
I know. Yeah, now Nomad, specifically with the Sandstorm, I think it actually could be used a little bit more in the team fight aspect because it will actually slow people. And it will, I believe it actually slows through physical thing, or it's like a physical slow almost. Because I know, for instance, when you use your spin on Swiftblade, you can actually slow him when he's still spinning. And that's a great tool against heroes like that. And now it has jumped significantly to, I think it was 7 and then 15 and then like 20, 25 or something like that. But now it starts, I believe, at 14%, goes to, I want to say 20? I'm not 100% sure.
It goes to 20% at least, yeah, it looks like.
Yeah, so it's a significant buff.
Yeah, and man, this lock pool, Blood Hunter to finish it off, why the hell not? So, again, we definitely have some fun ahead of us here. No matter what heroes are picked out of the lock pool, 4 out of those 6 heroes are going to be played, guys. I mean, that's the cool thing again about lock picking, knowing that we can expect 4 of these 6 heroes to actually be picked up. So, Blitz is actually the one that I'm really looking at, though, because, again, he's been on the scene now for a little bit, but ever since he became eligible, the first things that I kept hearing about him, and always, he's just really, he has no place out on the competitive scene. He just doesn't make sense. I said he did get some buffs lately with his movement speed. Actually, was even increased, but I don't know if that is enough. But hey, he was first locked here even, so maybe Perfections has some kind of strategy with him.
I would almost say sometimes that Blitz actually has more of a place in the scene than say like a Nomad. It's much easier to, in my opinion. Well, I don't know. Sometimes you can still have heroes act as a support, and it will be fine because if you're up against a Suicide, you don't need the strongest laning support in the game to keep them out. You can do it with a Behemoth. You can keep a Bubbles out with just a Behemoth. So in that aspect, it doesn't really matter that much. But obviously, I would take a Luna over a Blitz any day of the week if you're using him in that support role.
Yeah. Yeah, and, well, there you go. Luna is going to be first picked over here by the Legion side. So, Q Squad, we'll see how they respond. Again, we know that there's going to be some fun picks in that lock-picking stage. It's just now whether or not there's going to be some fun picks in the regular picking stage. Of course, Q Squad, they're the ones that are up 1-0, but again, at the same time, it is a case of you want to get the job done. You want to move on. As we saw there in game number 1, picking a very, very, very solid lineup. So to me, it feels like they might have even just responded to that Blitz lock as, if they want to play that game, we can play that game as well. But they're still confident that they can make a solid team here. So, but Nova is spending a bit of time to make this first pick come up, I should say. Already down to about 40 seconds or so, or extra time even.
Yeah.
So we'll see what he eventually goes with. But I can't wait to get to the lock pool, man. It looks like Plague Rider is going to be picked up and Tempest. So, Yeah, strong start over here for Q Squad.
They're having, the double deny very early on. That's going to be very advantageous for them. Quick snap pick, though, of that Bubbles. I was going to say Bubbles and both Tundra actually are still there. And I'm surprised actually neither one of them was picked up from Q Squad, but they want to have that double deny. They also want to have access to a very strong jungler, especially with heroes like Keeper of the Forest and Parasite banned out, and Ophelia. So having that next best jungler, really, is going to be strong for them.
Yeah.
Now, that's not to say that the picks from Perfections aren't strong. I mean, Bubbles, Luna, that's already very strong and can give you the freedom to set up your lanes the way that you want to. They could go a strong dual lane mid with a Suicide top and Bubbles, like though with a dual lane bottom or even a tri-lane bottom with the Bubbles top or mid. So they have options right now. The one thing I will note is that because there is a huge absence in junglers right now, they need to decide quickly if they want to tri-lane in the long lane or in the short lane, or if they could pick up a jungler, they have to do it right now because the only one that stands out to me is, say, Legionnaire. And is there another one? There's a War Beast, I believe.
War Beast, Legionnaire, Solstice. Can't use him, though.
Yeah, pick Solstice. Oh,
fun.
and they're going to go with the Legionnaire.
Wow, and the Q Squad, quick response with the Puppet Master, actually. So it's almost, so I like to put it out there, a case of anything you can do, I can do better. There's obviously Perfections chose Puppet Master last game. Didn't work out the greatest for them, but apparently Q Squad is confident that they can make it work themselves. But here we go with the lock pull. Let's be honest, this is the part that we're all looking forward to when it comes to this selection stage. You are right, though, obviously with the Legionnaire final pick, and so they do choose to go the jungle route, so a powerful team in the making. Picking up something like the Scout here, honestly, they could definitely use a hard. Is artillery? Do you know anything about artillery, by the way?
I don't.
Okay, either do I.
I really don't.
I was hoping you did, but I know that he is powerful in mid wars, and that is about it. I know really nothing more about him, so that would be something if he's picked up. We'll be kind of sitting here like, well, stuff's happening, and let's experience it with each other. He has that bunker down. Okay.
Wow.
Well, I won't talk about it until. But Nomad, Tremble Scout response. What is the final one going to be?
Oh man, what do you choose?
It's not going to be Blood Hunter, right? Because
I think it actually is. No, I think it actually is. Because they're gonna. I feel like they're gonna lane Nomad Luna bottom, or either way, one of these heroes is gonna have to go mid or short lane. I don't see it being artillery. I don't see it being Blitz. I think it's gonna be Blood Hunter. And Blood Hunter actually could be a good hero against, say, Scout. It's going to reveal him if he's below half, and you can use. Actually, by the way, Nox has stepped in.
Yeah, I just noticed
from
that.
Insomnia. So, and it is going to be Blood Hunter. So, yep, probably going to see that Blood Hunter mid. I think Nomad lanes a lot better than Blood Hunter does with a hero like a Luna. And we didn't mention, but the snap picks of Tremble Scout very quickly from Q Squad. So, as far as lanes go, probably going to see that Suicide Plague Rider being played, of course, by their Suicide player in Jonas and Fan. Puppet Master is going to be played by Nova.
I suspect support puppet.
Yep, I suspect that to be a support puppet in like Puppet Scout lane, probably in the top lane, and then probably a solo mid Tremble being played by Style, of course, which is their solo mid player.
When Puppet Master was a lot more popular here on the competitive scene, this is something we actually did bring up from time to time, and it's kind of like that Polywog Priest effect, but definitely different though, because at the same, Polywog Priest isn't your hard carry, but it doesn't have potential to be really that hard carry, where Puppet Master most certainly does. So that is very interesting to see a hero that we're so used to seeing as a hard carry role being played as, in this case, a ward bitch support role, being played by Nova here for Q Squad. But when you look at the abilities, it makes sense. I mean, he's got a Puppet's Hold, he's got a Puppet Show, two very, very powerful CC abilities, especially against melee heroes in general, especially against melee carries, something like your maybe Nomad over here, or that Blood Hunter, of course. I like the Puppet Master support here, actually. And again, with lock picking, sometimes you got to reach out a little bit, and I'm sure Nova is just fine playing Puppet Master support.
Yeah, I think so too. And it's interesting to see how they're going to lane it. He's actually walking down here. He places that aggressive ward to block the camp, but he places it in a more different spot. Normally we see this placed right above the camp because it does spot out. It does block the camp as well as spotting out any potential ganks from the jungle. But he's just placing that. Now going to walk back towards this top lane. It is going to be Tremble actually in the short lane. And that Scout's actually be playing the mid, so I'm kind of curious as to which lane Puppet's going to go. Yeah, he does have very strong CC abilities. I will give you that for sure. And with the change in that Whiplash that doesn't do damage, I expect him to not even level that up. Just probably go that QW build.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. I mean, Obviously, if he's going to be playing in a support role, his ultimate is a little bit funky, but at the same time,
It should be leveled up.
but yeah, you're not the one that needs to do damage to it necessarily. You know, your
Exactly.
teammates can. So of course, in that sense, obviously, it still is very powerful. It looks like he is going to end up here in the middle lane with Nox playing that scout, as you mentioned. So going to have a dual lane setup. That will be 2 versus 1 against Chuck playing the Blood Hunter here. Not hear OZ too often. Almost blanked there for a second, but. Yeah, don't expect him to have the greatest time here in the middle matchup.
He's not using the new skin. Or has it has come out yet, right?
The Shark.
Oh, no, not the shark. There's a new one.
There's a newer one. I'm not sure.
Yep. Let me double check on that. Let me just go here into the HoN store
Did
real
you just
fast.
give us a sneak peek?
It's the Blood Hunter Baby Yaga.
Oh, that's a real new one. Yeah, I'm actually looking over your screen at
It looks like a little Zergling, I guess,
Aw, poor guy.
but not using it.
He should at least be using the Shark. That's unfortunate, yeah. Anyways, yeah, he's not going to have a good time here.
No, definitely not. Puppet Master has the range, has the CC if he takes too much damage, so... Oh, yeah, he's going to do... Well, Scout's going to have basically complete free farm in the mid lane. And look, already we see some strings and then more auto attacks coming out. So Puppet doing his job up here in the middle lane. Top lane, we got a Bubbles, of course, Suicide against a Tremble. This is a matchup we used to see all the time, specifically DreamHack Winter 2011. Saw Suicide Bubbles all the time, and then Tremble was picked up a lot as a direct counter to that because of his massive attack damage and being able to deny and get every single creep kill. And checking out early CS right now, Style on that Tremble is already 5-4. Bubbles sitting at, of course, only 1-1. So it's very hard to get CS in this lane if you're Bubbles.
So it kind of seems like to me, correct me if I'm wrong, but our Legion team, with this setup, it seems like that they should really look to maybe send the Blood Hunter top and then Bubbles mid, maybe do a little bit of an exchange right there.
Yeah, of course. Now, that's more of a leap of faith because you don't know exactly how they're going to lane it. And I imagine if they did that, it would simply be a dual lane. They would just move Puppet to the top lane. So it's kind of hard. But
Well, I'm saying, should they adjust now, though, or is it just too late at this point?
I think it's just too late. You're just going to have Puppet adjust as well, and either way, Scout's going to get complete free farm.
True.
Tremble is not going to get hard countered. Tremble is still going to get free farm, so there's really no point to adjust right now. What they need to do is hope that Legionnaire gets massive amounts of farm. What the problem that they have right now is this Plague is going to get too much experience. They didn't defend their pull, which is a big no-no. So Nova was able to get this ward off, and they're not able to pull from this. So that means Plague Riders can get all this experience and farm.
Yeah, you do see Plague Rider is still level 1. I mean, Nomad's doing a good job, it seems like, of just constantly harassing him with that Mirage Strike and whatnot.
Look at this huge wave he has to deal with now.
Yeah, he's going to easily hit 2, maybe even 3 here.
Yep.
Yeah,
now, he's not... I said farm, and I mean that just in the sense of that he's able to get it if he's missed a couple less hits, but obviously he has the aggression from the lane to deal with.
Yeah.
The biggest thing is that he's getting all that experience.
Oh, Nova being Mr. Support. He literally just helped the stack right here. He just helped triple stack Legionnaire, really. And then he's like, all right, go ahead and have them now. He ran it with the Haster, harassed him a little bit, and then it was 253. He attacked the creep stack at the camp to stack it for him. It's I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. It's just so much routine for him that he just simply did it, not even really thinking about it. But he just gave it triple stack to Legionnaire right there. And well, okay, I'll take that. That's fine. So that was pretty hilarious, actually. But in the end, Legionnaire, I mean, speaking of his farm, it's solid. 265 right now. Obviously, that's helping.
Yeah.
Nomad, though. Nomad's 283 GPM. He's using a new skin, speaking of Nomad, and he's off to a great start. Scout, in the end, though, is right now leading the overall at 311. But I can't wait to see Nomad and what he brings to the table here.
Well, one thing to note, too, is, with the Nova helping Legionnaire in the jungle, I mean, it's very, very easy to get a massive amount of farm on Legionnaire with all their camps stacked, so it just simply helped him. Also, the change to the jungle did, I think, help Legionnaire because it did kind of even everything out. Actually, action in the mid, all the spells used by Puppet, the Puppeteer hold now keeping him in place, but just a little bit too tanky of a guy there is that Blood Hunter with the boots and that shield to mitigate a lot of damage. Top lane, though, we see a big dive coming out. Style gets credit for the kill as he takes credit for that Bloodlust onto FW Death.
Yeah, big dive indeed. I just got the tail end of that, but I believe he spawned that one Nestor at the last second to get that movement speed increase and actually just helped him get close enough to Bubbles to eventually finish him off. But yeah, that third ability, that passive of his, whatever it's called, the Impalers, it is so powerful. And if he just gets to pound on you with auto attack after auto attack with those activated, well, obviously it's passive, but anyways, you get the point. It's very, very, very deadly. So well played right there from Style coming out and obviously getting a solid Bloodlust kill. Now coming up to the 5-minute mark. Plague Rider is level 4. You talked about that from the very beginning. It seemed like he was off to a slow start, but now as the lane is starting to really push up, especially with that creep being blocked, or the creep spawn that is being blocked, he is getting more and more in level. So, again, what will Nomad bring to the table with this farm? That's a big question. More so maybe even what will Legionnaire bring to the table. He does have his life tube early on and is on his way to his helm with the Black Legion here. But farm is looking pretty good all around here on the Hellborn side especially.
I mean, I want everyone watching this to take huge note because you can learn a lot about how to set up your lanes from this. What the lane setup that the Legion side has, Perfections, is very similar to something that Complexity would do in previous tournaments. So this is what we saw as the norm. Now, of course, they're using much different heroes, but that's not the point. The point is they have a solo mid, they have a suicide top, they have a jungler, and they have a dual lane bottom that's quite strong, actually. But right now, if you look at QsQ, they're basically winning every single lane. What are they doing differently? Okay, instead of throwing 2 against a suicide hero, why not throw 1 that's going to beat him anyway? So if you're Perfections and you know that they're going to throw a suicide plague rider, why not just send 1 hero that's going to do the job of 2? So that's why I talked about Silhouette as a perfect example. Nomad could actually do just fine here, just solo. So what they need to do is just actually have a dual lane mid against this dual lane mid. And actually some aggression here. Here comes Legionnaire. He wants to get the gank. Good silence by Scout, but it's just not going to be enough. Actually, in the meantime, Style does pick up a kill. There's a health potion on the Puppet Master, but Bloodhunter, he wants to pursue him. He does have the boots and only, I think, 1 level into that Blood Sense. Nonetheless, it's still good. No! Good deny by Nox. Nox denies Nova, denying him credit for the kill for that Bloodhunter, so good job by Nox.
Yeah, I happened to be watching the top action, actually, while the middle stuff was going on. Tempest Ultimate was used after Bubble Shell surfed away, thinking he was going to be fine. He baited him into the Tempest Ultimate, basically, and then, of course, Tremble went in to finish him off. But, yeah, well played. Great heads up. Great presence of mind coming out from Nox right there with the deny onto his teammate. So, well, it looked like the Legion team maybe at least getting a kill in the middle lane. Ended up being not so as a result of that deny. And on top of that, adding insult to injury, top tower also goes down. So Tremble right now being played by Style here. He is off to a tremendous start. And the scariest thing about it is that you have a Tempest and a Scout who are also farming very well at 350 gold per minute around the same market themselves. So QsQ again here in what is game number 2, already up in 1-0. Yet again looking dominant, and well, Perfections definitely has their work cut out for him.
So Styles off to a tremendous start. I had
that was a stretch.
Okay, maybe. But yeah, basically what I'm trying to say is they laned this very well. I mean, they had a dual lane mid that was winning. Okay, so mid won. They had 1 hero that's beating their suicide very well. That's another lane 1. Another lane dominated. Actually, in the meantime, Bubbles, oh no, the what is that? Puppet Show, of course. I was blanking always on that spell, but the Puppet Show was applied, but not enough damage or follow-up. But so they won the short lane tremendously. I mean, look at this CS. It's 47 and 28 with 2 kills under his belt as well. The long lane, they had the Plague Rider. They got the ward off. So basically, that you can almost count that as a 1 lane because of how much experience he's getting in comparison to Nomad, who just dinged 6. So Jonas Fan is actually winning in the experience battle. Now, they do have a jungler as well, but they also have a jungler on QsQ, who is doing just as fine, if not actually better, because look at his farm. Yeah. He's sitting at 350 gold per minute.
Yeah, he's in fact helping push this top lane with Tremble. You see Bubbles nearby. Bubbles actually going to get flanked from behind by Puppet Master. Kenny shells away in time. Is still off cooldown, actually, and that sets up a very easy kill when it's all said and done. So they're going to also push this tower in really, really solid now. And I don't think the Legion team could even stop this, even if they wanted to. Good job by Nova using the illusion, actually, to tank the creep wave for a little bit of time. Enough time to push the tower without really any distraction. So the gold lead is already up to 6,000 in favor of QsQ. 2,600 experiencing on top of that. And we are just now hitting a 9-minute mark. So QsQ, no doubt, looking very strong here. And what is, again, game number 2 here in this best out of 3 in the round of 512. Because, you know, while this is all happening and all, it's still great. You know, even if somehow the Legion team can start holding it off, turning it around, at least with the Tremble and the Tempest, I mean, they still, again, have a Scout. Nox is just literally free farming nearly 400 gold per minute now, and it just keeps going up. He has Ghost Marchers, 2,200 gold already saved up, and he is going to start getting bigger and better as this game progresses. Now, Portal Key just purchased by Legionnaire, so he doesn't even finish the helm. He goes straight PK. I guess it's a case of, well, we need to try something. Yeah, so I guess that makes sense. But
yeah, he doesn't even have boots.
Yeah.
So opting out of that, and this might be one of those times where you're going to have to do that and try to find a situation where you're all in. Actually, in the meantime,
Nomad does use that E-spell, actually puts him invis for just a second. Gonna need to ultimate here, else he's gonna be in a lot of trouble. The ultimate coming out actually from Scout. No, it actually is canceled because it's such a long channel time, but yeah, they're going to need to make something happen right now. Legionnaire is in the backfield, very slow because he has no boots. Maybe looking to make a big play right here.
Scout is no doubt trying to bait that edge counter to come up. But Legionnaire jumps in with the portal key. Tempest in a lot of trouble. Tempest will fall. Bubbles with the follow-up. Puppet Master is also going to drop. And the Legion team having a pretty solid fight here when it's all said and done. Tremble and Scout are still alive, though, but all 5 are here for the Legion side. Good job by Tremble. Using boards. But the plug comes out. That's the portal key away by Legionnaire. He goes to the creeps, and the creeps tank all the damage, basically. Talk about perfect timing right there. Plague are now getting chased down. He may eventually fall. Yes, Nomad will finish him off right there. You see Tremble off to the side. Not much more he could have done, but both Tremble and Scout, at least they stay alive. So QsQ got a little cocky there, but wow. I mean, that worked out beautiful for Legion team, but how about that PK by Legionnaire? That worked out.
I mean, it was a great idea, but unfortunately he portal keyed himself to a creep camp that just kept bouncing back to him.
Yeah.
So had he done it in maybe a different area where there weren't any creeps or heroes, I mean, it's hard when a situation like that when you're just trying to get away from it. I totally feel him there. And in the meantime, Nox actually did pick up the kill onto him. Legionnaire was very, very close to dying, even just to that neutral camp, because the ultimate from Plague just kept hitting him over and over. And Nox did get credit for that kill. So,
yeah, that was that was interesting. But
Very
you brought
funny
up a
to
good point that he portal keyed, unfortunately, on top of the creep, so it did keep bouncing. But hey, it stopped him from spreading to the team, which was the important part. Nomad here at the top side, need to be careful. Puppet Master running in, and actually Nomad is being chased down. He does have that Mirage Strike coming up. Will it be enough? The Electric Eye is put down, so even if he goes invis, he's going to be screwed. Nice silence on top of that, and Scout, being played by Nox, will finish him off. Meanwhile, at the bottom line, a lot of pressure coming up. Bubbles trying to shell surf away in time, but the Impalers, look at the slow from the Impalers. Boris with the web right there on the Bubbles, and the top comes out, and down he goes. So Luna now getting caught out by Tempest as well, and Tempest, no need to ultimate right there. Luna just falls shortly after. So what seemed like the Legion team maybe having some signs of life. QsQ quickly closes the door on that. And not only 12 minutes in, we are looking at already 9,400 gold lead. Tremble is absolutely a beast. 487 gold per minute. And Scout is just going out of here at the top lane. Tremble did purchase a sort of the high, at least, I believe.
wow.
So Mocker Brilliance is going to be on the works for him, and going to be coming up shortly here.
Yeah, it looks like he abandoned the Steam Boots and that Helm of the Black Legion. The Runed Axe is now completed on the Scout, and with them having all these towers and then still pushing this bottom one, I mean, they're going to have to hope and pray for a miracle if the Legion side. They did have a good initiation, actually, from Legionnaire with that freshly purchased portal key there behind their mid-tier 2 tower, but they're just going to need simply much more than that.
Yeah. Yeah, they are. And you see Nomad right here. He's pushing it back with the rest of his team. Aluna's wandering around very dangerously, actually, by herself up in the front lines. Tempest was coming over, but Aluna will barely start to fall back in time before she ended up getting caught out right there. But QsQ was trying to counter on top of them, but unfortunately for them, Perfections doesn't really give them that chance. And instead, they'll have to go back to the lane and continue to farm. But yeah, it's really a case of, do you honestly just look to finish it now, or do you just continue to get even further ahead? You already have such a huge gap here early on that you would think that they can maybe already look to finish it even, or just really put the pressure on even, full throttle.
Yeah.
But if you're also at the same time, playing it safe, never a bad thing either. So we'll see what kind of strat they go for. Or at least finishing these big items, initial items being picked up, like Tremble with that Mocker Brilliance, of course, as he's clearing out Ancients currently to pick that up. And then there's always Tempest, who he has 1940 gold saved up, so he is very close now to that portal key himself. This tower is going to fall with quite ease, actually. That's even more gold.
Yeah, definitely. There's the Mock. There's Striders on Puppet. And actually, I wanted one interesting thing to note. I believe, I'm not 100% sure, that this mound placed by Style actually does block his own Ancients. I'm not 100% sure.
Oh.
He did just kill them, so that corpse is blocking it for now. But yeah, I'm interested to see if he actually does get rid of that. But anyway, I wanted to mention, oh yeah, one other change too that does help some of those hard carries is the neutral camps and the Ancients, specifically those Drakons. Their HP has been reduced, so those are easier to kill now. One thing to note.
Yeah, that's of course this latest patch did have a lot of jungle and a lot of neutral creep changes. We of course had the chance to sit down with Dog Kaiser earlier in the week on the same day as that 1v1 show match between TDM and TT Esports, of course. A lot of fun there. Definitely check out the VODs if you missed that. But yeah, we got a chance to sit down with him. He gave us, his point of view and definitely some perspective on a lot of these changes, and it was really, really interesting to hear. Now, I think I saw that correctly. I believe I just saw Energizer. Yes, Energizer just purchased on Blood Hunter, actually. He's been very quiet this game, speaking of him. Now, this is a hero that, honestly, he is a very powerful solo mid hero, and at the same time also his ultimate a very effective ganking tool. But he's 0-2 this game, so again, really hasn't had the largest impact. But he has Energizer now, so he can chase down his foes even quicker.
Yeah, Energizer seems to be one of those kind of basic build-up items now for certain agility carries, or not really carries, but like comes to mind as a hero like Swiftblade. This is kind of like when you go for Swiftblade and you want that rune cleaver. It seems like you're still just so squishy.
Yeah.
And I feel like Energizer is one of those perfect build-up items that's kind of it's pretty cost efficient. I mean, it's only 1,400 gold for that entire thing. Boosts your entire team's movement speed for a short period of time, and gives you some static movement speed on top of that, as well as some good stats in one item. So yeah, it's a good item. But right now here, I don't think it's going to be the saving grace. They're going to need a lot more. They're going to need something like a Hellflower on somebody, or a Blink from Bubbles. But that looks like it's quite some time away.
Yeah, just to answer your question, we do see the Ancients, they did spawn, so...
Oh, so it's not...
this did not block them. Puppet Master is having some fun right there, man. He is spamming those abilities.
Playing that banjo.
Yes, that's exactly what he's doing. So now we are 16 minutes into the game. Again, QsQ, a very dominating early lead here. But Perfections is going to try to fight it out and see what, if anything, they can make happen. So to answer, I guess, my own question from earlier, it seems like QsQ is going to try to, build it up even a little bit more here and get at least the first initial big items, and then maybe look to finish things off. I mean, they keep grouping up around Kogor. Nova wants to do it, man, but the rest of the team, okay, here comes Tremble. So here we go, finally Kongor, franking Kongor, of course, because of Halloween, is going to be starting to drop quickly here, and I don't think the Legion team is even going to have time to react to it, so they're not even reacting. They don't have any vision nearby, so that makes sense. Scout does have a level 1 shield breaker, by the way. Yeah, so he has that to work with now. But yeah, this is going to be a Kongor kill. Yeah, probably a token of life on Scout, I would think.
Yeah, Scout or even that Tremble. Tremble doesn't have the most HP, of course, rushing that Mach Brilliance after this team boost no completed not with the Black Legion just yet. So it actually, you were right, it does go to that Scout because he has even less HP and, well, a little bit more damage output as far as physical damage goes.
Yeah, and, he'll be the guy, eventually, although you're all right, Tremble actually doesn't go for a tank build early on, of course, but he will eventually become pretty powerful. And he also having that Dark Swarm ability, which is only level 1, but still it can definitely reduce some damage that you are taking. So here we go, though. QsQ is going to group up here in the middle lane, make a little bit of a push happen. Scout kind of around the backside. Excuse me, again, he has that token alive, so he's feeling pretty confident. Was that the Edge Cutter used? No, it was not. Of course, I'm referring to the Nomad ultimate. I thought that when it was activated right there. Will he look to activate it right here, maybe? No, he will not. He might need to activate it sooner. Nope, never mind. He's going to drop right there.
Hot.
The burst damage was pretty damn intense. Scout, obviously a lot of that. And Nomad is dead. Did he buy back? No, he's down for 30 seconds. He cannot buy back. So more of a chance now for QsQ. I love while this is happening. Tremble says, I'm just going to go farm the Ancients, guys, real quickly. We do see a jump right here on a Blood Hunter. Blood Hunter dropping. Legionnaire comes in with a counter taunt on a Tempest. Actually, Bubbles going to follow that up. Nice stun by Aluna on a Scout. The player is bouncing around, actually. But there's the Tempest ultimate holding Legionnaire in place. He will fall. Scout jumps Bubbles in the meantime. Bubbles goes down. Aluna's going to drop it. Blood Hunter running away. Oh, boom goes a Dynamite. Yeah, there we go. So I was waiting for that. I tried to line it up. It didn't work out too well. But there comes the 2D well played. And it looks like QsQ we'll be moving on to the round of 256. Yes, that's right. They just won a game here, and they're only going to the round of 256. But that is HoN Tour for you. Okay, the game isn't actually over just yet, apparently. A lot of the GG well plays have been called, but there you go. There's the concede vote going through. And it is officially over now. So QsQ, again, they take the series 2-0 here over Perfections. Perfections, though, double elimination. Yep, they're just going to fall to the losers bracket now.
Yep, the road doesn't end here for Perfections. Of course, any team that got to this far winning their first round is going to drop down to that loser bracket, lower bracket, and they will still have a chance to get to be one of those top 16 teams for Diamond. Of course, it breaks down from there into Gold, Silver, and of course the rest are placed into that Bronze area, or the Bronze division.
But a lot of game left to go. Continuing on tomorrow, we've already had some great games, even despite it being very early on in this qualifying tournament.
Yeah, we definitely have. But again, with so many teams signed up, there's bound to be those great matches, that maybe we get lucky enough to cover here, especially early on in the rounds. But as we're noticing, and really when you think about it, it does start to cut down quickly. I mean, literally half the teams, to an extent. I guess not technically because it's double elimination, but anyways, it's cutting down very quickly. As we're already down to the round of 256 here in the winners bracket at least. So started at 1,024. It's definitely advancing here. What is only day number 1 done here for HoN Tour, and again, obviously we've been sitting here doing coverage for really all day now and casting and everything. But from what I've been hearing, at least, there's been a lot of good word about it, and obviously the matches have been getting played and the rounds are advancing. So things are looking good right now. When it comes to HoN Tour. And as you were making the point, it will continue tomorrow, and our coverage is set to start tomorrow at the same time as today, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. That is 1800 Central European Time. So, of course, we do plan another doubleheader on top of that as well tomorrow. So definitely look to tune in and help us continue, or really just chime in and watch our coverage, continuing coverage here of the HoN Tour event, of what is really an epic event, as we can see. So.
Yep. And make sure, guys, to leave us feedback on our new forums and HoNcast forums. Make sure to leave us any kind of feedback, what you liked, what we could improve on, as well as check out our VODs on the HoNcast.com website. And then, of course, if you're interested in rules, I mentioned before, I get spammed all the time about can we do this, can we do that, can we add people to our roster, what if we're late, what happens then if we're late. All those things are answered actually in the FAQ, if not just the general rules section of the HoNTour.com website. So make sure to check that out too.
Yeah, HoNTour.com for all of your HoN Tour information, guys, from the rules to all the teams, to the brackets, to all the event information, to the full schedule. It really is all there, guys. So probably you can go there and you can find it for really whatever you're looking for concerning HoN Tour. So definitely check out that. As you said, though, also HoNcast. Look for that.
And even if you don't have questions right now, just look over it anyway, because there's a good chance that you're going to run into a problem and are going to need to have a quick solution, or at least you're informed before that problem occurs. So make sure you read over that, guys. Read over everything so there's no gray area.
Great point to bring up, actually. So yeah, definitely do the research, and obviously, especially if you're participating on top of that, of course. So, and I'm sure many of you tuning in happen to be participating in this event, and if not participating yet, will be participating, because again, a big strong point to bring up. I mean, these are the HoN Tour qualifiers. It happens to be a $10,000 tournament on the line. Obviously, all the seating initially for the first cycle of events here with the HoN Tour cycle, but that doesn't mean you can't sign up once it actually starts, and you can't continue to sign up even down the line. You will have many chances to actually start playing in HoN Tour and get your experience at Competitive Heroes and Newer. So definitely look out for all of that. And again, you go to HoNTour.com. You can find all your information there. So I think that pretty much is going to wrap things up for today, though, for the most part. Obviously, got 2 best-of-the-3 series out of the way. Had some fun covering those. And, well, excited to do it all again tomorrow. Trev, any final words from yourself?
Just well played to all teams. Thanks to all the admins working really, really hard, and all the people working behind HoN Tour. It's been a lot of work, and they've been really doing a good job, so we've got to give a big hand to them. And to you guys for sticking with us, and it's going to be great from here on out. It really is. So. Great day 1 to these qualifying, this qualifying tournament.
Yeah, it definitely was. The HoN Tour Qualifiers, though, it has officially begun. And we are getting things rolling. So really excited for it tomorrow. Definitely tune in then again, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, 1800 Central European Time. From myself, Breaker CPK, Ralph Medor. Shout out to Killer Orange, our producers. Tune in tomorrow. See you then.